Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. So, hey, happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, great. So I want to talk about the Turds in the Punch Bowl, known as our hate mail. Just really quick, I told you that this would be a channel unlike any other channel. It wasn't going to be popular because, I didn't sit around and discuss quarterbacks 24/7 as if you discuss quarterbacks all the time, everything there is to know about football, right? So that's how. And if I wanted to get the views, all I'd have to do is just scroll down go to all the other platforms. We'll go listen to all this nonsense they're talking about. Just parrot the stuff, yeah, we're at 12-4 next season. Yeah, the offensive line is superior. And, just mimic all the things that they hear from sports talk radio. And I'd have, thousands of followers, it's just a bubble, everybody talking in a bubble. But I chose not to do that. Exactly. I would have, would have chose the bubble. But I didn't go the bubble route. Everybody's saying the same thing. I show film, we critique it, we're taking a look at what we're taking a look at, and make the decisions, that what we're seeing. And what I thought was really interesting is every time I pin these guys down to, they'll say general things like you suck, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. Well, specifically, what do you mean I don't know? What do you want to talk about? Oh, paying Justin Simmons number one cornerback or free safety salary, so that you think that makes sense. And then you go get the consensus of all these fans that want to bring in a free safety, but none of them want to pay. Know that Justin Simmons in no way is the number one receiver in the NFL. So when you pin him down to defend that, they slink away. Draymond Jones, they want to use statistics to say 7 sacks when you say no, it was actually 5 sacks. The rest where it says, this is what the film shows. So they like to use stats to make their point. But anytime you nail these people down, they slink away.
I just want to. Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
Oh, I'm finished. Go ahead.
So I just want to nail this point down to a lot of people that are having a hard time understanding what this channel is all about. So when it comes to the Justin Simmons thing, I want to ask the 5-11 bad fans who think this team is a quarterback away, going 12-4, going to the playoffs, because that's our new goal, is making the playoffs, losing in the first round. So how does Justin Simmons transform your defense? I can name 5 safeties that are better than Justin Simmons currently. Jeremy Bates from the Bengals, Budda Baker from the Arizona Cardinals, Micah Fitzpatrick from the Steelers, Michael Hyde from the Buffalo Bills, and Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger from the Kansas City Chiefs. Those guys help transform their defense. When I see Justin Simmons out there, he's on a 5-11 football team, and he says this team's close. This team is just very close. They're not going to name the quarterback like everybody else is going to do. But please explain to me, how does Justin Simmons on a 5-11 team transform your defense? And
we specifically want that
for this player.
Yeah, they haven't answered that question. They just say you don't know what you're talking about, but they can't answer that question. They refuse to answer that question.
They also like to refuse that Draymond Jones isn't that good of a player, because when I watch the film, is he out there 99.9% of the time? Okay, let's be realistic. Is he out there 90% of the plays? I don't see it, because I see the rotation going on his side of the position, on his by Von Miller. That's where he lines up, right on the left end. That's the position that he plays. And you guys say that this guy is an Aaron Donald type, that this guy's the next Malik Jackson, who was a 6th round pick, by the way, from Tennessee. I remember this because I have a pretty good memory. So let me ask you this: you say that he's good in a 5 tech, okay? We run a 3-4 defense. We don't run a 4-3. We run a 3-4 defense. And you guys say this guy would be better in the 5 tech. That's a 4-3 defense.
No, they can't answer the question. They don't even
know what that is, because that is outside their realm. That is outside their knowledge. The bubble, Oakley, Dokley, Stokely, all these guys, quarterback, just etc. We're 12-4. We're just a quarterback away.
Yeah, and the quarterback list is now that long because we've been a quarterback.
Yeah. I sent you the list of the quarterback list that ESPN had. It's long, guys. We're the new Cleveland Browns. I can have a Broncos jersey of all the quarterbacks that we have serial killed over the years.
Well, it looks like we're about ready to serial kill another one. I mean, if, like I said, we can get into this conversation too about this nonsense about quarterback development or this nonsense about dueling quarterbacks. One quarterback pushing the other quarterback. All it does is distract the quarterback. You bring in Darnold. All it's going to do is it's just going to distract him. It's going to distract Locke. They're both going to be looking over their shoulder at each interception. It's counterproductive. It's counterproductive. Well, you get another quarterback. Okay, so now you want to kill 3 quarterbacks. It's just like an addict, and I think it's a national phenomenon. You know, they were attacking Joe Burrow. You said nationally here because I told you here. They were attacking Joe Burrow, attacking him, saying that you could go out and get another quarterback. And I'm just like, when will it end? When will common sense finally return to the NFL and to fans? Common sense about developing. When will that happen?
I think sorry to interrupt you. I think this is where we have to have common sense as us. This is where we come in and provide the common sense. The common sense is right now, Drew Lock is getting better. Whether the statistics show it or not, he's getting better. Through each progressive game from the Miami game forward, he was getting better.
Yeah.
He was getting better. He was getting better on a play recognition standpoint and also knowing how to read the field. Because it's not just your one read, it's going through multiple reads. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now they're going after Joe Burrow, who had no offensive line in front of him. He got killed. I knew that was going to happen because they have no offensive line. You already have somewhat of that here in place in Denver. Drew Lock got hurt, against the Pittsburgh Steelers? Yeah. Because Elijah Wilkinson, we didn't bring him back. I was surprised about that. He went to the Chicago Bears. But he got hurt because Elijah Wilkinson didn't block his guy. And you have Garrett Bowles.
That wasn't even the initial breakdown. The initial breakdown was Cushenberry.
Yeah, but the initial breakdown is, exactly. The initial breakdown is exactly what you said. It's Cushenberry. It's Wilkinson contributes. And also, Garrett Bowles, this top 5 left tackle that we put all of our resources in also gets lock kill from Bub Dupree on the other side. So this team doesn't know how to develop quarterbacks. This team doesn't know how to develop anything. Okay, they overpay for players.
I think they don't know how to develop an offensive line correctly either.
Not just an offensive line, a defensive line, linebackers, corners, safeties, etc. The list goes on and on and on.
Well, I mean, going back to the turd and the punch bowls, the hate mail, isn't overpaying Simmons, isn't that, and getting rid of Lindsey, isn't all that just part of that fight?
For sticking up for Locke, by the way. Oh, good job, George Payton. Good job for getting rid of Philip Lindsey. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, well, we know it's not George Payton. We know who.
No, it's not.
We know who's the architect of all that.
We all know who the evil Sith Lord is behind this whole situation, and that is John Elway.
Yeah, and we'll talk about what this team would look like if John Elway was not in the picture and it was Pat Bowlen, George Payton, and Fangio. Would we have a completely different offensive coordinator, for instance? Would we be drawing up this in recruiting? Would we really start building this team correctly and not making big splashy moves and just stupid Elway-esque development, team destruction? What do you think if Elway never existed and it was Pat Bowlen was still not only alive and well, but his faculties were still there? George Payton is our GM, the alternate universe, right? I'm talking about Fangio as the head coach.
I think you would have stability in the organization.
I think you would too.
I think that you would have stability in the organization, and you'd have moves and player personnel acquisitions and decisions that would make a lot more sense than paying Ronald Darby, who's a very injury-prone corner, $10 million a year, bringing in Kyle Fuller on a 1-year deal instead of going after some young guy that's on the up and up, Michael Davis.
Yes, and that was our whole point with Draymond Jones was wasn't so much that Draymond Jones is this bum. And matter of fact, if he fizzles out, I'm not going to be sitting there. I told you so. It wasn't. I'm going to blame the people that'll end up, the same people defending him as they always do, will end up trashing him out. I'm saying if we would have brought a Jordan Phillips in, we could have turned him into an impact player. He's not good enough on his own. He is not a
Sheldon Rankins too.
He's not Sheldon Rankins, and he's not Malik Jackson. He's none of those players. But with one of those guys, he could transform into being a Robin, right, to the Batman, right? That's what we were really getting at. And when I tried to nail people down on that, then they slinked away. Okay, yeah. Let's get specifics about, he didn't have 7 sacks. It was 5. And the single man, it's man on man. There isn't double blocking going on here. He's single, it's just man on man, okay? And this is how I see the defense, the way it's structured right now. I see that one thing you can do is burn Simmons over the top. That you could do. That's one option that you have if you're a Herbert, Mahomes, and the corners aren't going to get the help over the top. He didn't give any help over the top last year. They were so mad that I pointed that out, but he didn't. Okay, so that's part of the defensive structure. So these corners are really going to be on their own. And Darby, for the guy who breaks down film, the highlight reels. Who was talking about bringing Darby in last year this time? Me. Where were you? You broke down the film about corners you like, and you did a good job. But where were you when we needed you to lobby to bring this guy in instead of going to Washington? Because we could have signed him for a lot less if he'd already been here. But I don't know what I'm talking about, apparently. Okay, so now we go and look at how the front seven what's gonna happen. It's the front seven is hat on hat. There is no double blocking. Nobody's being double teamed. Von Miller's coming off of his injury. Okay, Chubb was not double teamed last year, so you're gonna get single man on man there. There's nobody pushing the pocket to the front. Okay, it's something we've lobbied for. So hold the edges. All a team has to do, hold the edges. You can hold the front, and you just put a pocket in front of every single quarterback the Broncos are going to face, and they'll be able to function right in that pocket. They won't have to scramble around. Just stay within that pocket and get rid of the football, and they can hit in the linebacking area because right now, as it stands, they don't have anybody that can cover. Now, we did a whole thing on coverage linebackers that, of course, because we didn't talk about quarterbacks, okay? And again, I want to go back. I don't think that the quarterback competition, I think, is a bad idea because I think both quarterbacks just get distracted. Locke can't concentrate thinking, if I throw a pick, if I do something, this guy's going to take over. This guy's thinking, well, if I don't do something, Locke's going to take. It's just counterproductive. If you're going to develop a quarterback, do like the Bills did. Develop a quarterback. Just stick with it. Do like even Jerry Jones. Stick with your quarterback. Just stick with it. If you want to get somebody new, start over. My opinion, if you go and you draft a first round, or if you go get a first round draft pick quarterback, you should have got rid of Shermer. That's what you should have done. Okay, so you didn't get rid of a guy you should have got rid of. You've just killed your quarterback you were trying to develop. And now you're going to have to play this guy because you drafted him in the first round. Now you're pressured because you're Elway. That's what you do. It's just going to be, I think it's going to be a very poisonous situation if they draft a quarterback in the first round. I guess we're getting into the draft now. So we were showing linebackers in particular. You were talking about Slater. Slater's come up to a right guard.
Yeah. I was just a talking head in the dark, when I was bringing up this guy a couple months ago. Nobody would talk about Rashawn Slater, but now all of a sudden sports, paid for sports talk radio is starting to talk about him a little more, which I find interesting because that wouldn't be a sexy pick, but that's my top guy right now is Rashawn Slater, right tackle.
It wouldn't be a splash.
No, but it's a good solid move, and that shows that George Payton has control.
Move. Non-old Cleveland Browns, non-old Oakland Raiders, none of that nonsense stuff.
Yeah, none of that bullshit. Exactly.
So, again, we're biding our time. We already know we're biding our time waiting for Elway to just get out of here.
Yes.
All this nonsense hopefully stops. And hopefully they get a good owner, one that pisses sports talk radio off. If they can do that, like we piss them off, we'll be in good shape in the future.
Yes.
I really think so.
And I just want to bring up a point because I want to bring up the point about the quarterback competition real quick, and we get back. It's just gonna be a quick point. When it comes to we bring in Darnold against Drew Lock, it's another thing. It's just the Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch thing again. Have they learned from that situation at all?
They've never learned. They never learned because again, in the bubble, get your bubble out there. Give me the bubble. That's all they talk about. Quarterback. Just, and if you talk about the quarterback, you know everything you need to know about football. Anything, you don't have to worry about anything else. You just bring up the quarterback. You say, so they forgot everything that they saw, but those two they're not these two. And it's just, it's just madness is what
you want to slam your head against the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just, again, you talk about reactionary. It's a reactionary fan base. I have made a video about Drew Lock screwing up, and it was just a commentary. It wasn't supposed to be a defining moment for Lock. It was just an observation. Oh, I think it was over 6,000 views for that thing. And it was just a quick comment. That's all it was. It wasn't meant to be of all the thumbs up, all the thumbs down, that one got, I think, 75 or something thumbs up. And I'm like, I'm understanding now. And I almost think, I kept saying, I even regret making the video because it was counterproductive. It made a point in the short run, but I think it lost the point in the long run. Getting away from that quarterback development. But I don't think you can develop the quarterback with these quarterback competitions. I think it's too much of a distraction. It's Craig Morton and Danny Don Meredith. One guy throws an interception, boo, and the other guy throws an interception, boo, you go nowhere.
Mm-hmm. So
it's just madness, is what it is.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll segue back into the draft talk. So I sent you film. I did breakdown on Xavier Collins and Micah Parsons. What do you think of the film breakdown of Micah Parsons and Xavier Collins?
Well, I told you I was a Collins guy because Collins has an IQ. Collins knows he has, like you said, a nose for the football. He already knows where the football's going before it gets there.
Absolutely.
He knows how to coverage. In today's NFL, people, you're talking about quarterbacks. In today's NFL, you've got to have a coverage linebacker. I believe that Collins is going to go before the other guy goes.
Parsons?
Before Parsons goes. I think in today's NFL, I think that coaching staff, you covet a guy that that can cover these tight ends. And I believe that that Collins gives that to you. Now, you said you found somebody else out of Kentucky.
Yes, this is Jamie Davis out of Kentucky, linebacker, who has similar traits as Xavier Collins. I think he's more athletic than Xavier Collins, but he has the exact same instinct ability, ball recognition ability, even the coverage ability. It's just off the charts when you're talking about Jamie Davis from Kentucky. I think that Xavier Collins has the higher upside, in my opinion, but I think Jamie Davis and Xavier Collins are almost neck and neck when it comes to linebackers who can cover in this draft. I think those are your top two linebackers that can cover in this draft. So when I broke down the film with Micah Parsons and Xavier Collins, the clear difference I saw was the nose for the football. Who can recognize where the quarterback's gonna throw the football, et cetera, et cetera. I said in my video that Micah Parsons, if you're running a blitz type of defense and you're more focused on stopping the run or getting after the quarterback, Micah Parsons is your guy. I am a big Micah Parsons fan, but he doesn't fit what Fangio wants to do with his linebackers, because I said in the video that Vic Fangio has always coveted coverage linebackers.
In today's NFL, absolutely.
In today's NFL, that's why I think he's one of the best defensive minds out there. He had the likes of Danny Trevathan, Roquan Smith, Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, the dome patrol that you probably know very, very well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if we don't have a linebacker that, we need a linebacker that can cover the tight ends. It's not just covering the tight ends. It's locking down the middle of the field like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did in the Super Bowl.
Yes. Good point. That's an excellent point. Excellent. That's what really was what dictated the Super Bowl working counter to what Kansas City wanted to do. And who is in the Broncos division? Kansas City. So, it's not just about quarterbacks. It's how do you counter Mahomes, or how do you counter Hebert? How do you counter Carr? How do you counter these quarterbacks? Well, take that first read away, and again, you're supposed to get that push up the middle, which we don't have. So unfortunately, this team still, in my opinion, is dysfunctional. Offensive line, as you mentioned, is not anywhere what Clayton says it is. That's just
even Orlando Franklin says too.
You just Franklin thinks this is
Big O. Yeah, he's riding that train.
Well, see, that comes from Dove Valley. Dove Valley has never taken the offensive line. Well, I put it this way: if they had taken it serious, they don't have anybody that knows what they're doing. What was Shermer? What? I'm sorry. What about Munchak? Well, what about Munchak? He had to spend all his time on one player and one player only, and that was Garrett Bowles. Okay, Munchak's got to clean up Shermer's bad play calling. Okay, the player personnel in the offensive line has been horrible. The bringing in guys that are injured, the Metallic Watsons, the guy from Dallas who was like
Donald Leary, Donald Stevenson, Alan Barber.
Yeah, these guys like the hospital checking in and out. They got hot tub time machine. When it comes to the offensive line, they have nobody there. And they asked one guy, but he's doing everything he's basically the offensive coordinator now because our offensive coordinator just can't get the job done. So
we could have upgraded with Cushenberry,
Yeah, Cushenberry. I mean, how many centers were out there that we could have got? You
could have got Matt Hennessy, who played for the Falcons, who played a lot better than Cushenberry. You could have got a whole. I was a bigger Matt Hennessy fan than I was a Lloyd Cushenberry fan.
But the talking points came out. Worship Cushenberry. We're a 5-11 team. Let's not rock the boat here, okay? So offensive line.
I just want to say this: who is our blocking tight end? Because this is another thing that we should. This contributes to the offensive line. I think this is a really good subject right now. Who is our blocking tight end? We cut Nick Van Ette, who is our best blocking tight end. Although I didn't like the contract, I do like Nick Van Ette as a blocking tight end. But Andrew Beck, who's our fullback, you got rid of Andy Janovich, who I was a huge fan of. Traded
another impact player you got to let go.
Absolutely.
This organization is it's a poison. It's got a poison in the front office. It's got to go.
It's Elway.
Yeah, it's got to go. It's got to go. Well, they can't even decide what system they're running. I think I've got fans.
That's another point.
We have fans that actually are subscribers that actually do know something. And every one of them says that, look, this offense, there's no identity to it. They don't know what they're running. And that's because Munchak had to come in and save them. And we brought the Tennessee Titan film out to show what they were running. And then, of course, Sports Talk Radio went off of our heels, our little station that doesn't get any viewers, and said the same thing. Oh, yeah, well, they're running just anyway.
Yeah,
we don't know what
you go from the Kyle Shanahan tree to the Andy Reid tree. Apparently, that's what the Pat Shurmur system is, and you don't have the player personnel to run the Kansas City offense.
This problem of not knowing an offensive identity goes all the way back to Peyton Manning's exit.
Yeah, when you brought in Gary Kubiak and Rick Dennison.
And then there was who was
Bill Musgrave.
Before Bill Musgrave, we had Mike McCoy. Then it goes to Bill Musgrave.
Who's a similar play caller as Pat Shurmur with his 3 wide receiver sets. I said that when I first started this channel with you, that we're going to see the same. It's going to be the Mike McCoy Arizona Cardinals offense, where he's going to get his quarterback killed. And look what happened. He ruined Drew Lock's progression.
Well, this is what what really set things off too was that you had things set up with Osweiler. Now, well, wait a minute. Which was fine. It was fine in the sense that what if had Houston not been stupid, Houston and took him, you could have used him as a bridge quarterback like Alex Smith or something like this. But you didn't have a backup plan. You didn't have you had Trevor Siemian, okay? Then you had Trevor Siemian. You didn't stick with that. You could, and then you decide, well, I don't know what we're going to do.
We're going to go out and get Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, the butt play, right?
Yeah, the butt fumble guy.
The butt fumble guy. Well, why can't you stick with the guy? Well, again, remember...
See, that was the downfall. That's the downfall. When they went and got Mark Sanchez, we're going to cut Mark Sanchez because he's not playing good in the preseason. We're going to start Trevor Siemian. Next year, we're going to hire a yes-man, Vance Joseph, and we're going to have a quarterback competition with the first-round pick.
But here's the thing. This goes back to actually when Peyton Manning was on the team. This organization has no offensive line wherewithal. I think had you started gearing up that offensive line, waiting for the departure of what's his face Manning, and you lose Osweiler, you got this rock solid offensive line. Then you could put Trevor Siemian in there, and try to get him developed, right? And even if he
see that's another thing. You let Zane Beatles go, you let J.D. Walton go, you let Luis Vasquez go. Ryan Clady was injury prone, so I could see that. So in 2015 you bring in Ryan Harris, who I like Ryan Harris. I think he was a very underrated tackle. Evan Mathis, one of the best guards when healthy, but he was past his prime in his mid-30s. And you kept Michael Schofield out there, getting Peyton and Brock Osweiler killed on a consistent basis. I mean, the list goes on. And then you move Luis Vasquez as that right tackle who's a guard.
These crazy things that they were doing. So they didn't have the player personnel to run the pocket quarterback, Peyton Manning type of system.
They did a year before.
Musgrave coming in. So the idea is, well, we'll move into where we don't need to have that solid New England Patriot type offensive line. We don't have to rely on the offensive line, so we'll do more of a Kubiak / Shanahan type West Coast system. And so, but you had the quarterback for that, but you never had the offensive coordinator for that with Musgrave. So
you had Case Keenum as your quarterback, who's more of a traditional. Sorry. Exactly. I know what you're talking about now. Bill Musgrave runs the Kyle Shanahan, Garrett Kubiak type. No, he runs the pocket passer type stuff. He runs the pocket passer. Case Keenum is a Kyle Shanahan, Mike Shanahan, Garrett Kubiak type of player. That's why he succeeded in frickin' Minnesota, because he was running that type of Shurmur was the offensive coordinator, so I could see it. So
now, you decided that you want to go in that direction, but your offensive coordinator doesn't run that type of a system. Then you can the quarterback, right? And then you bring in Scangarello, and then you go out and get yourself a statue, which is counterproductive to. Because you don't have the offensive line.
Joe Flacco, who he had that great year under Gary Kubiak. Well, because he was still young at that time, and he had a good foundation around Joe Flacco, and he had a good offensive line.
He could move some back then. I mean, but
he still had a good offensive line and good talent. Rich Ciarello was here, and he has one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL.
Yes.
And then Locke did so great in that offense. Yeah, because he was mobile.
Yeah.
He was able to maneuver in that pocket, unlike a Joe Flacco who was just like a Cam Newton.
Well, yeah, Flacco can't move around, so he was done. They knew. I mean,
well, he did good in New York.
They knew he was done. They knew he was done.
But he did good in New York because.
Yeah, well, they have a decent offensive line. That's one thing they do have.
They have an okay offensive line, better than Denver's, in my opinion.
Well, I guess yeah. When you take our defensive line up, they looked phenomenal. So he was able to. Yes, Flacco was able to at least be functional in that. Yes, in that situation. So it's just like they can't get the two together. The offensive line, the system, the quarterback. They just can't.
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's layer upon layer to protect Elway. Oh, let's blame the offensive coordinator. Let's blame the quarterback. Let's blame the coaches. Let's blame the players. Not the one guy who brought all of that in. Not the guy who brought all of it in. Yeah. Shh.
You guys don't know what you're talking about. You don't know. It's just insane. So that brings me up to this. I want to talk about this, and this is something you wanted to talk about.
Yes.
We could talk about the offensive line and Slater in a minute, but I want to talk about my theory that Elway wanted to dismantle Bowlen Super Bowl 50 Broncos. My theory is that John Elway wanted to completely dismantle Pat Bowlen's Super Bowl 50 Denver Broncos, and he wanted to create something from the ground up himself. What do you think about my little theory about that?
I like your theory because it goes back to the point that we've been talking about since the end of 2015, early 2016. They got rid of Wade Phillips, who was a Pat Bowlen guy. They got rid of Malik Jackson. They let him walk. They got rid of Danny Trevathan. They got rid of T.J. Ward. They got rid of Aqib Talib. It goes on and on. The offensive coordinators have been shambles, at least under Pat Bowlen. They were stable at the offensive coordinator position for a few years, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They got rid of Adam Peters, a guy that I was a huge fan of, is succeeding in San Francisco, who's going to get a GM job soon, and you guys will see how good of a GM this guy is once he gets the opportunity. You didn't bring in Kyle Shanahan because he didn't want to work with Elway because Mike Shanahan told him about the ego that's going on. He has the same ego as me, son. Go over to San Francisco. Don't come to this mess in Denver. So you're right on the money. I think this is a valid point, but you don't know what you're talking about. So
you just don't know. Yeah, I think that from what I could see, to me, it looks like Elway had this vision. He was going to tear it all down, build it in his image, and it's a 5-11 disaster is what it is. You can't get around it. And look, I'm the guy that said this team, even at 5-11, had every single domino fell. This team could have got into a really bad, stinking playoff type of a situation, and all these people that know so much more than me would be telling you about, oh my God, we're just one play away, a drop pass away from the Super Bowl. You just don't understand. No, we're not. It's get your ass crushed in the playoffs and, put your tail between your legs, go back and pat yourself on the back. See, how great we are. This madness isn't going to end until the guy in the office goes. I'm telling you.
And I don't think that this dysfunction is going to end until we get an owner. Ladies and gentlemen, under Pat Bowlen, the Broncos weren't as nearly criticized as they were under John Elway. Can we just be real here? Every single week, it's a new article. Melvin Gordon gets arrested. The video comes out. He looks like a freaking idiot. You keep him over the heart of your running back core and Philip Lindsay. You criticize the dude. You blame George Payton. You know what media outlet you are. Stop putting that stuff out there because that's bullshit. And then you keep bringing in left tackles, keep bringing in right tackles. All this bull crap.
And bad ones.
You bring in a guy, Mendel Watson, who you cut him, and then you were still paying him a year later. And then all these articles coming out about how former players and former coaches are saying that Elway is just like an Al Davis. Nobody wants to work with him because he'll have you in a chokehold in seconds.
Well, we talked about Jackson too, Kareem Jackson. We were critical about paying the money that they were paying. We just couldn't understand. Why are you paying this guy this money?
They cut him, did the right thing, and then they bring him back.
Well, bring him back when nobody would want him. Nobody else out there wanted him.
Exactly.
Now, what did Philip Lindsay say about leaving Denver? You read the article. He said something about he was glad to get the hell out of here.
I think he was glad to get out of there, and he was trying to praise his former quarterback, and then they were attacking him on it like Shelby Harris. And he said that he respects George Payton. Name me any player, and this is why I like George Payton. Okay, I think once Elway's out of here, George Payton will be able to do his magic, but we gotta wait till Elway's out of here. But if you reading between the lines, Phil Bling says, I respect what Payton did. He didn't keep me around, bullshit me, and he just said, "Hey, gotta let you go." But that's all George Payton. He's the one that got rid of Philip Lindsay. Now that was coming from John Elway. But that right there, and to say that he respects George Payton, I don't think he respected John Elway because John Elway kept screwing with him.
And everybody.
Then he's talking about his quarterback. He's talking about Drew Lock, how he has to find it in himself to be a really good quarterback. That's because he's still developing as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Just the lines.
Yeah, they said. Well, he's saying to stick with him is what he was saying.
Yes,
with this guy, don't. Well, Philip Lindsay was a part of this quarterback carousel thing too. So he's seen it. He's seen it. He's already seen it and done it, and he's just happy to get out. And not saying that the organization he went to is like a stellar, but it's not
anywhere to get away from Denver. That's all I gotta say. Good luck, Phil Lindsay. You got screwed here, by the way. I was a huge fan of yours. You got screwed. You deserve to go get your money and go get whatever.
Well, it's just another impact player, out showing the door.
Another impact player.
Yeah, showing the door. And it's not about whether he played special teams or not. It's what he brought to the locker room.
Yeah, Mike Boone. We brought him in to play special teams. He's going to solve all of our special teams problems.
Yeah, and I'm not saying anything about Boone, but I mean at the same time
that correlates into special teams crap. This guy's just getting this one guy is going to solve all of our special teams problems.
Yeah, no, it's just an excuse they're coming up with, and it's again the talking points they're given. That it's the talking points.
Yes.
That's what it boils down to. So, looking at the offensive line, it's nowhere what Mark Clayton, what he's trying to, the bullshit he's trying. That's bullshit again. It's just bullshit.
I sent you the article, and it's total bullshit.
I mean, everybody around the AFC West is chuckling because I mean they know that's nonsense.
It is.
The only people taking it for real are these Kool-Aid drinkers coming to the channel all butthurt. But I can show you all the breakdowns of all the offensive linemen. We did that all year long.
And then how Slater would solve our right tackle problem, which I've been saying for months. This guy knows how to play tackle. He played tackle. He plays all 5 positions. He could even play center for you.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean,
we're not going to get him.
That'd make too much sense. Even for me, I want the linebacker. I mean, I just can't ignore the fact that this offensive line ain't what Mark Clayton is saying it is.
Yeah.
We did all season long was break down footage of this offensive line.
One guy in the Buffalo Bills game pushing Dalton Reiser and Lloyd Cushenberry back into the quarterback.
That doesn't happen. Up and just threw him right in and kept going. I know.
At least they double team that guy. But Draymond Jones gets double teamed all the time. At least they double teamed one of the Bills D linemen.
Yeah, I mean you can't even make this stuff up. It's pathetic. It's bad.
This team is a joke. This team is the new Cleveland Browns. They're the Jets. They're sick. They're a pathetic organization until they get a new owner, a real owner.
And the turds in the punch bowl will keep defending. And sure, they're the same ones that defended the Flacco. They're the same ones who wanted Juwan James, and on and on and on.
Oh yeah, let's go get Justin Fields and Trey Lance.
Yeah, and the second that they get dumped, I never wanted that. Just like all these people that are all on Draymond Jones, they'll dump him. You saw it. Remember how they were all for Drew Lock? You bring Drew Lock in. They turned on him. These aren't fans. I mean, they're just a bunch of feel-good.
They're just there to get a rise out of you. That's basically what it is. They're not fans. If you're a fan, why are you happy that we're 5-11? We are 5-11.
Well, hey,
That's pissed me
Simmons
off.
is going to change all that.
Yeah, he's going to transform the defense like Polamalu, Ed Reed, and Steve Atwater did back in the day. He's going to transform a defense like that.
Even though yeah.
Justin Simmons. Okay, can I ask you this? And I know this is off topic, but Justin Simmons will never ever be in my Broncos' best safeties of all time. No, it's just not going to happen unless he gets better. Unless he can transform a defense. Atwater, Smith, before Atwater. I would take all these other players out there. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Brian Dawkins.
Yeah. No. That's
him up.
Yeah. It's a shame too. It's a shame. The one one thing I also want to say is I think the reason he doesn't get injured very much is by taking those bad angles. He's keeping him from getting himself injured, allowing big plays to happen. Or
he's taking off plays.
Yeah.
He just stands back there and lets the ball go over him.
Well, and he's not helping his corners out. They're getting burned over the top.
You think he is?
Well, no. Matter of fact, I would say if I was
in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely attack him personally. Him being back there, I would attack him over the top as one of my. If I'm a Ryan, if I'm a Aaron Rodgers, Herbert, or Mahomes, I would have that.
I brought this up in one of our last videos. I'm like, when you watch the Kansas City games, they're always attacking his side of the field.
Yeah. But we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We show you the film, but you get mad.
Yeah. They get butthurt.
Yeah, they get butthurt. Yeah. So what do you for the draft? What do you see? What do you see the Broncos doing? We know what
I'll
we
ask
would do.
you. I'll let you talk. Yeah, I'll let you take it off, and then I will finish it.
Well, I think San Francisco moving up threw a little wrench too into the Broncos quarterback derby. That may have, and I could get into San Francisco. I never was a fan of signing Garoppolo. I thought that was the dumbest thing they could have ever done when that happened. I said, that's way too much, but just like Osweiler. You know what? And I used Osweiler and Garoppolo, and they really laughed. Osweiler. But now they're saying the same thing about Garoppolo, aren't they?
Yes.
I'm not saying that Garoppolo's bad or anything, but I'm just saying it's just too much money too soon. Also, I want to say I think Minnesota's sticking with Kirk Cousins is a good thing. As much as that they were ready to dump in for Deshaun Watson, I think that's just, Anyway, so what the Broncos, I believe, would like to do is I think they'd like to draft a quarterback in number 9. If they can't draft a quarterback at number 9, my hope is they don't draft a corner like Sports Talk Radio. At least Denver Broncos, the front office, turn off Sports Talk Radio at least. When you go to the draft room, turn them off. Use some common sense in there. Get a linebacker, get an offensive tackle. I mean, D
lineman.
A D lineman, if there's one out there that's worthy. I don't know if this is a draft class that, I'd have to look at,
Marvin Wilson's a guy I like.
So, everybody around the national coverage knows what you need. They know your offensive line ain't all that. They know your D-line ain't all that. They know your linebacker ain't all that. Stop going after quarterbacks. Use this time to build the team. Use this time to let Locke focus on being the best he can be without looking over his shoulder and having that distraction. Don't bring in Sam Darnold. You're not doing either quarterback a favor. You're not helping them out. You're just distracting both of them, and you're just making a bad situation, just like you did before. And like every other team does this, and nothing ever good comes out of it. It all sounds good when people are talking, but it just doesn't ever translate in reality, So I would like them to make football moves in the draft. That's what I would like to see. What do you see them doing?
I think that the San Francisco thing does throw a wrench into what I think John Elway wanted to do in the draft. I do find it interesting that they sports talk radio has been talking about bringing in competition, and George Payton hasn't brought one in yet. I find that very interesting. I don't know if he's going to trade for Sam Darnold, if the Jets take a quarterback, or if they go draft a quarterback. This is what I see happening. I think I see them trading back in this draft. I think they're going to trade back in this draft, accumulate more picks for future picks or this current draft. I would hope that they draft Collins. I would hope that my guy is Slater again and again. I think Slater is my leader in the my leader in the house right now. A guy I would draft.
You have doghouse, the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, the doghouse. But I think that, like you said, Slater would do wonders for this offensive line because you won't have to rely on a guy who's going to be in the Hot Tub Time Machine, which I watched the movie last night. It's a very good movie if you want to go check it out. But I think Slater.
Time Machine.
Yeah.
Time Machine.
I think that.
You can see Javon James sitting in there, couldn't you? Running it. Oh, we did get a Mr. Freeze. Look at this. Am I frozen? No. I don't appear to be frozen. There, you're back.
I froze again. Mr. Freeze, always coming back for an appearance.
Yes.
I think that Collins is my second guy, and Jamie Davis is my third. I would not draft a corner. I wouldn't draft a corner. I just wouldn't.
That's more dumb sports talk, radio bubble talk, and the geniuses that come over here, that know so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, drafting down, if they do that and get more draft picks, it makes good, solid picks. And unfortunately, they can't pick an offensive lineman to save their life, apparently. But, I'd like to see, will Reisner bounce back, or is the book out on him?
I think that Reisner will bounce back. I think that he has the character and the wherewithal. I think I liked Reisner coming out of college. I think that he was just too focused on making Garrett Bowles. He was between Garrett Bowles and Lloyd Cushenberry. What do you expect? I mean, come on now.
Well, that's true that he had a slump year, but he had a Cushenberry next to him.
And Bowles.
Well, no, Bowles is a Pro Bowl. You got
No, he's not. No, he's not.
The number one selected Pro Bowl.
Yeah, by Pro Football Focus. Yeah.
I know. They're gods.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. God. No, then die. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, my gosh.
Football.
And we do have a good backup guard in Natane Moody, who, when he was in there, made some, had his rookie mistakes, but man, he was better than Graham, injury-prone, hot tub time machine Glasgow, who's the next Ron O'Leary.
Well, and Glasgow may turn out to be another Elway casualty of injury and gets supplanted. They may not have a choice. I mean, we got video of him being pushed back like a little rag doll. You supplied that.
Yep.
They didn't like that one either, did they?
They hated that.
Yeah. Hey, we're just selling it like it is. We're trying to show you.
We're a GM-centric channel. Sorry.
Yeah, breakdown film. But the stats said this. Well, this is what the film showed.
Yeah, but the analytics and statistics say this about this certain player in this certain time period on this clock management, and 50% of just shut up with that crap.
Yeah.
Statistics don't mean shit.
Yeah, it destroys their when we show film, it destroys their little bubble create. And that's why they hate film so much. Now I'm going to say this: when I showed the Simmons film, I was showing just the whole defensive series. I didn't even show the worst part of it because I did it from start until I stopped talking, which was almost into the fourth quarter, which where it really got bad. And people were acting as if I just was cherry picking stuff. I mean, there was like Simmons doing good. There was like, and then him getting burned, and they were like, oh. You're just film. Worst film ever. Well, what do you mean worst? It's just it was just the game. I mean, you saw what you saw. You're right. It is bad film because it's not the team's 5-11. You know, you kind of put 2 and 2 together there. Anything else on your radar?
No, that's it. We're just waiting for the draft. So.
And that is April late.
20.
That late? 29th? Oh, wow. They really pushed it back, didn't they?
They did.
Wasn't it like the 20th or 22nd, something like that?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, wow. Well, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully that they'll work with Locke another year. It's too bad he's under the tutelage of Shermer. It's also too bad that hopefully, I don't know if Reisner can overcome Cushenberry's,
They probably ruined him too.
Yeah, then, that may be another video for us to do and
I think that should be another video. The players that this organization has ruined.
Well, what we should do is just take a look at footage of Cushenberry and how it translated to affecting Reisner.
Oh, I could get that.
Yeah, if you can focus film on that's a big project, though.
I can get it done.
Yeah, focus on Cushenberry because, again, I think they were throwing some stats out that were meaningless, too, about, trying to put him in this. Yeah, just this ridiculous category. So, but also we need to see how that affected Reisner's.
Okay.
Too. So, yeah, if that's something, because the draft will come, we kind of broke down everything we need to do. If you could, because you have some really good games. We got Tampa, we got Pittsburgh. I mean, we got some really good defensive.
Yeah.
Film Buffalo, obviously.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So that'll be something I'll be looking forward to.
All righty.
Yeah. So if you could, man, that'd be great. So I think we're going to be recording on Sundays from here on out. It seems like, but I'll keep you abreast. Okay.
You're good. We can keep it up. So.
All right. Yeah. So here, like I said, you get an opportunity to freeze like that.
Mr. Freeze again.
Where else can you get an opportunity like that to freeze and tell it like it is, and we'll generate some hate. Ready to generate some hate?
Get that hate mail.
Get that hate mail going. Come on, bring in the hate mail. Come on. we have plenty of shells for your hate mail.
Yeah. We got a graveyard with the quarterbacks if you want to join.
Yeah, we could throw it on the dead quarterbacks you killed. Bury them in your hate mail.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Hey, take care.
Yeah, take care. Later.
All right.